Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. I do apologize for the late upload today, was a little late getting back from personal trip, but I am back, and today I wanted to talk a little bit more about Seraphine. Now, if you have not seen by now, it is obvious that she is going to be not only our next champion, but also the next member of KDA. She has already gone onto her Twitter to say, hey, I got picked up by KDA to collab with them for their new album, so excited, all that usual stuff. And in fact, she's even made an appearance in the first official KDA comic that Riot have posted on their website. So if you guys want to go check that out, I will have a link down in the description below. But suffice it to say, we know that Seraphine is getting added to KDA, and that more or less means that she is going to be the next League of Legends champion, because it just makes sense. Every other character in KDA is a champion in League of Legends, so it stands to reason that Seraphine is going to be the next one added, and that her first skin upon release will be a KDA skin. And while on its surface I have no problem with this, I think in all honesty, it makes a lot of sense for Riot to add more champions to KDA. They've been really pressing hard on this whole music League of Legends tie-in thing ever since KDA blew up, but even before that with Pentakill, if you guys don't remember that, or DJ Sona, both of those were still really big, really popular, and Riot finally decided to double down with KDA. That became a big deal, and really it makes complete sense for Riot to continue with the KDA train. That's still been by far and away their most popular franchise, so if you really want to get more hype going for it, it makes sense for Riot to not only add new skins for their champions in different outfits, but still KDA, but also to add more characters in the same vein that they added another singer to Pentakill in the form of Pentakill Kale. I think that just makes a lot of sense for them to do. However, I do dislike how, so far, we have only met Seraphine through the lens of KDA and not at all as she is supposed to be represented in League of Legends. Remember, she is supposed to be a champion, and I have to think her current appearance is not how she will actually appear when we get her in-game. It will be probably very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if the bubblegum pink hair stuck around. I wouldn't be surprised if she had very similar mannerisms, or even if she was another music mage in line with Sona, but maybe a little less of bardic inspiration and a little bit more of melting people's faces with music. I could totally see that being a thing. In fact, Moobeat over on Surrender at 20 has actually pulled some lines from Wild Rift that do mention Seraphine by name. So again, I would not be surprised at all if this champion, it's obvious that this champion is going to end up in game. The problem is we don't know how this champion actually is going to look in game. We don't know her appearance. We don't know how she lines up with the universe yet. And I think that's a bit of a problem for reasons which I'll entail here. First and foremost is that we don't know where Seraphine fits into the universe, and I feel like that will have a detrimental effect on her overall reception. The problem right now is that Seraphine is not known for who she is in game or what her canonical appearance is. All we know of her is that she is a singer and she does KDA stuff. And while that would be totally fine to sort of have as like an alternate appearance, to say kind of like, oh yeah, okay, Seraphine is a, singer and she's a part of Pentakill, or sorry, KDA, I keep saying Pentakill, but she's a part of KDA, she does the music thing, but also this is who she is in Runeterra itself. But instead, we don't get any of that. We're not actually going to know how she lines up with League of Legends, and in fact that will probably be the first thing a lot of people think of when they do see her in game is, isn't that the new KDA character? Which, as you can probably already tell, is a bit of a problem when it's coming to how the character is going to be received and how the character is going to be perceived by the community at large. It'll just be the next KDA member and not whomever she's supposed to be in game, and I do feel like that's a bit of a misstep. I do feel like that's a bit of a mistake, because League of Legends, first and foremost, is about the world of Runeterra and the characters that inhabit it, but also how these characters interact with that world and how they interact with each other, rather than their alternate sort of skin fantasies. I have no problem with Riot basically taking champions and saying, here's alternate places for them to be, here's alternate ways that we can view these champions and how they interact with different universes other than the sort of main one. But I don't know that I like her first outing being in this sort of alternate universe, because, like I said, it does harm her character, and it does, I think, make her a little more dull than other characters. Now, Samira, for example, if Samira had been the next KDA member, I would have said that Riot would have handled it perfectly. We saw Samira up front, we saw who she was, we saw her gameplay, we saw how she looks in universe, and then Riot would have been revealing, oh, and she's also going to be in KDA, here's her KDA skin, here's how she interacts with the rest of the members, and that would have been totally fine, because then at the very least, players sort of understand who Samira is as a character, who she is in sort of the main universe, but then also, yeah, okay, she does the sort of KDA thing on the side. And that would have been a perfectly appropriate way to handle it. Seraphine, conversely, I feel like is a bit of a misstep and a bit of a backup, because it does feel like a bit of a slope for Riot to get to a point where League of Legends champions are more homogenized and aren't really known for who they actually are in universe, but significantly more about, well, what skin verse are they and what skins are they associated with, as opposed to their actual real appearance. And I do think that's a bit of a problem. Especially I can consider down the road if this thing does continue and Riot continue to say, well, this champion is the next Pentakill member, and also, you know, this is who they are in actual Runeterra, that we get to a point where the character on their own is sort of, the character when they're released is sort of unknown. We sort of don't know what's going on with them at all, and in fact they sort of become watered down, and we don't really even care because, well, that's just the new PsyOps guy, as opposed to whatever it is that they're bringing to the game. I just don't like how it's handling the characters, especially not when Riot are trying to build out their universe and they're really trying to build out the IP. I think it does make sense to be focusing on the alternate universes to sort of open the possibilities for League of Legends. For example, I would be totally psyched if they made a League of Legends game that focused around the Project universe, for example. That would be really cool, and the advantage we would have, though, is that we already understand who the characters are. We can just see them through the lens of a different skin universe instead. But I do think that starting with a character in their alternate universe sort of appearance is a bit of a mistake, and I don't know that I would appreciate seeing it again in the future. So at the very least, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people are really excited for Seraphine, and they're really excited for what she's bringing to the table. So if you guys think that, you know, it's totally fine what Riot are doing right here, I would love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you really enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all later.